because we're about to hear some music. All right, everyone, we've reached the second set. Make your way back to your seats. The next artist who I'm about to introduce really needs no introduction, but all I will say is she is a very dear friend of mine, a superhuman, and I'm really, really honored for her to close the festival with an amazing quartet of people who are equally amazing as composers as well. So please, please, please give it up for Aja Monet.
Hello, everyone. So, I'm really excited because I'm a huge fan of Minaret Records and Youssef, and I'm so happy and excited and proud of what they're doing here in Los Angeles. And so, for him to ask me to be a part of this festival is an honor, and it's really an honor because it's allowing me to do some new stuff and to experiment in a way that I haven't before. So it's even more a dream to follow Georgia Ann Muldrow, who's a legend and a musical genius. Just she exudes art and poetry and love in all that she does. And so I'm grateful that you all got to witness her, and please continue to support and lift up her music and her art. Go get her merch. You know, local Los Angeles artists just should be lifted up as much as possible. And so I feel indebted to the legacy and the trail that she has blazed for us. So this is gonna be a funny experiment tonight. Are y'all ready? Yeah! Are you sure? Yeah! Okay. So, I told the guys that for every poem or song, I'm going to give them a phrase, and I'm going to tell each of them or one of them to play inspired by the phrase. And then we're going to go from there. Cool? Yeah. Some kind of what we call in poetry land a writer's prompt or a constraint of some sort. And so I'm going to give them a prompt, and the first prompt I gave them is for a poem that I call a manifesto. And so I asked them to play as if they were playing from their moon sign. Y'all ready for this? I'm excited. So, Brian, what's your moon sign? A Pisces. We got a Pisces over here. Ben, what's your moon sign? Ooh, a lot of water. A lot of water. Pisces over here. Kwaku? He said it like Sag. Give it up for the Sagittarius moon sign over here. And clearly I'm a Cancer moon, thus being a poet. So this whole night is indebted to that. But here we go. I'm gonna let one of y'all start. Who wants to start? broke into ocean. A yoke of light walking on the horizon floor. A ship named Skin, carrying the raw materials of us like blood, sweat, and spit. Listening to the wave files downloaded from a hate blue hill. Eyes, black, black as sound, glowing in between impulses of heart skin. I remember being a raindrop in the jazz desert classroom, trying to find the words for myself, rocking back and forth. I fell asleep on a breeze, studying the rudiments of rain, without the stink of right or wrong, tiny planets sparkling like germs in microphone booth whispers. We exist. We exist free from form or time. Humor is a kind of courage. Water as moral compass. The majority is not silent where tomorrow then is right now. We who adore a good meal and gut trust the microbiome of our intuition. Cosmic love making leaders. We travel as part of an international working class. The earth is not a belonging, barefoot notes pittering, pattering in the key of soil as soul. I lay my splendor in the leaves of the grassroots and ride the subway train of veins, eavesdropping on fragile fists, beatboxing circadian rhythms. We are militant about our play. There's nothing more serious than a child at play. Have you ever seen one? There's nothing more serious than a child at play. There's nothing more serious than a child at play in the tug of war. We kiss to practice breathing, devotional in the face of artificial intelligence. Emotional intelligence is our greatest fear. Electric. We toss our voice out of the periwinkle blue. It remains to be unseen as they advance their computer, phone, and other mechanical devices. They have yet to update or upgrade the software of the human heart, the very throne of one's emotions. A voice is the fingerprint of courage, or el pillow. A poem is a manual. A poem is a script. A poem, for the poems that poemed us. A poem is man. How to touch the sneeze of love, the third eye's tuning fork, an open stained glass window shaped as a mirror, how we transcribe one another without words, where time is told by cadence, shadow puppets dancing on the border wall of dreams, hieroglyphs howling, flexing their wings in a hummingbird throat, a soft orb in a photograph of the sky. a teaspoon of medicine by the lunar light, the prayer of participation. You know a poem is good. A poem is good by the music of it. A miracle lingering in the dust of you. We toss our voice. We toss our voice out of the periwinkle blue. We who wander weather with waves, whispering through windows, shaped as mirrors, called people. May we never take each other for granted. This next poem is called Mouth of America. And I want you to sound like, let's start with the bass, like you're opening up a medicine cabinet in God's bathroom. Doorways, watching the coming and going of doctors. Prescription pills flood the kitchen counter. A mother medicated on myths and well-trained greed, living from pain to pain in the nation state of stone-hearted deceit. We were born tender with the promise of voice. A country's throat strangled by the bare hands of bloodthirsty court jesters. I've always been afraid of being sick, of aching and reaching and needing help, because you learn to need help. To need help. To need help is to be handcuffed by shame or maimed, muted by the margins of profit, when the side effects are worse than the symptoms. Headaches, dizziness, vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, the script of crime companies. A lack of insurance or assurance, the rushed paperwork. The rushed paperwork of credit checks and signatures, the choice between painkillers or antibiotics. The choice between painkillers or antibiotics in the hellish howl of unhealing. The mouth of America. The mouth of America. prescription pill population control. We borrow our living in debt for more heart monitor minutes with our breath. What doesn't kill us makes us addicts. What doesn't kill us makes us addicts. Prisoners to the high fructose corn syrup. Manufactured food without flavor or smell. May these words serve the loneliness of surviving. The miracle of our living room remedies. There was a time when we trusted the gut of our planet. And the sun was our friend. And the wind was a lover. And we remembered the water. The water was us. And we delighted in how we cared for each other. And we put each healing foot in front of the other, with grace for the ground. And every fruit had a seed. And every fruit had a seed. And every vegetable had vitamins. Listen to the truth of your body, how it craves the wrinkles of time. You deserve the kinetic beam of life. Cellular goosebumps, the environment to heal yourself, to be nourished, and to hold the therapeutic hands of community. We are, we are the medicine we've been waiting for. For those of us who grew up in hospital doorways, watching the coming and going of doctors, prescription pills flood the kitchen counter, a mother medicated on myths and well-trained greed, living from pain to pain in the nation state of stone-hearted deceit. We were born tender, with the promise of voice, a country's throat strangled by the hard hands of bloodthirsty court jesters in the mouth of America.
Yeah!
Okay, this next one, I want you to play, I'm gonna start with the drums, as if an auntie with rollers in her hair and the attitude of her hand on her hip. Auntie with rollers in her hair, attitude of hand on the hip. Los Angeles' own finest, between surrealist minds and surrealist times. the consortium of poets. In the beginning there was the end. Thunder, startled, rain, odor, thrill. The raspy road ridges, river voice with feet and fists. The drum dreaming of death duelists dancing. The pen prints, the tiptoeing tenement buildings. The routed wrists raging of rhythms racing, pages of mathematics, the melancholy melodies, the blushing meadows, the ovary sister curling marred tree, the bite of shea butter grooves, the panicking smiles, the gut punch stanzas, the impulsive mouth shooting paper cuts in wax poetic ears, memories walking barefoot on the moonshine floorboards of a mind. This quartet, moaning for the money sick movement. Magicians, now you see, now you don't. The martyrs, the resurrected between rib cages of premonitions, the promiscuous thoughts. The daughter of crosswalk children, hand in hand with roti rum-drunk fathers. The police sirens drenched in breeze, the weed-whispered vacant lots. Daughter of developer damn landmarks, defiant with gardenia graveyards. Daughter of church fans, and hallelujah hums hissing from the eyelashes of Ogun, daughter of Oshun, prayers on metaphor altars, of corner deli pigeon shit graffiti awnings, barbershop buzz cutthroat thrifting, daughter of African dressmakers and tailor-made braids, of okra stew pots and banku fingertips, of tolerant grins with ginger shot truth-telling. Daughter of lost and found objects, assembled into honest homes. Elders sipping brew on front stoops, of fire escape juke joint smoke. The heart pharmacy prescribed love letters, organic health food in headphones. Daughter of freedom school birds, fluttering youth's prison chains, of tribal chants. Remember, escaping the potholes of greedy politician promises. Daughter of womb wishes and umbilical cord monologues. Blues on the breath. Blues on the breath. Jazz in the veins. Daughter of improvisation. Daughter of silence, smoky, soothing. Saying, daughter, here's a poetic offering for Jane Cortez. Daughter of Ashe, market woman who barters, bantering of husband's sons. High on war, sloppy and slurring on genocide gin. We carry the weapon of the healing word and will of flame flowering through our veins. Daughter of the end, daughter of the beginning, daughter of the now, daughter of the then, daughter always, daughter of dreaming and when, daughter of the beginning, daughter of the end. Miss Jane Cortez. Miss Jane Cortez. quartet. Daughter of the end, daughter of the beginning, daughter of the wind, daughter of freedom, school birds flutter, loose prison chains and tribal chants. Miss Jane Cortez, Miss Jane Cortez, Jane Cortez, Jane Cortez, Jane Cortez, Miss Jane Cortez. We lift you up, we honor your memory, daughter of divine dealings, daughter of saints, daughter of sonnets and slithering rhythms, daughter of drums, daughter of drums and drones, daughter of jazz, mother of all things, Miss Jane Cortez, Miss Jane Cortez, who made this poem impossible, who gave us poems to feed on forever and ever, daughter of everlasting, daughter of everlasting, daughter of the beginning, daughter of the end, Miss Jane Cortez. Jane Cortez. Okay, this next one, I want you to try, we'll start with you, Brian, a baby raising its head for the first time. A mother waiting at a bus stop bench with her baby, huddled to her back, firmly wrapped in a sheet of cloth, daydreams of a world without swollen feet, sitting by a freshwater stream, calling all Sisters of water, cosmic deputies disperse the despair. Superstitious revolutionaries, imitations dim-witted billionaires, democratically strangling the people waiting by a window, scatting up sedated solos, cackling corrupt cliches, smudge the sound waves. They're murdering journalists, calling in the National Guard, contracted and contrived war, check cashing month to month, measure the math. Measure the math as the grifting consulting class dances on algorithm graveyards. At the brink of attention, they amplify the worst of us. And we forget the mother, waiting at a bus stop bench with her baby huddled to her back, firmly wrapped in a sheet of cloth, daydreaming of a world without swollen feet. They amplify the worst of us, to have and have not. Reality is a ritual, the bewitching spell. AI wins, manufacture the clouds. A pigeon poos on the hoodoo how of nearsighted nouns. Fear is radioactive, deadly, and it must be shut down. Whirling, whirling, whirling with wishes. Every beginning has a past and there are no ends. Every dream is real. Somewhere. We dare breath. We dare breath by being. We dare breath. We dare breath by being. The mirror's voice hissing, filling our eyes with sun, moon kisses. Remember who you are. We dare breath by being. A love-making promise. A joy stitched tenderly by the candlelit cry of a sonic ceremony of sacred songs in the palm of a butterfly. We dare breath. We dare breath by being. Remember who you are. Every dream is real somewhere. Every dream is real somewhere. Lest we forget, we are at war. We are not near one, approaching one, defending one. We are in the heart of weathering fully a weapon war. If I ask you the ways of war, the weathering will of its ways to be and have been, to bear, to become who we choose to be, how we wake and wither, I contemplate the loss, tired of raging with the denial of now. We are at war, complicit, complying, confronting, crying, kneeling, never not dying. There is nowhere else to go. In the darting distance of our dust, we spiral with the hush of our shrill ready. We cherish the portals, the rumors of poems, where love goes on the way of a will. Old men count their regret and rinse the sun from their brow. The knees of women gambling with time in the notebooks. In the notebooks of very old, tired, withered men. Our leaders tally the tags. A genocide is a genocide is a genocide is a genocide is a genocide. On CNN, or the radio, or in the rally, everywhere is a heart. People are spilling. Everywhere is a heart. People are spilling. Everywhere is a heart. The people are spilling. The people are spilling. The people are spilling. The people are hearts spilling. The people are spilling. The people are spilling. The people are spilling. Our hearts spilling. The people are spilling. The people are heart. The heart is spilling, splitting. The people are heart. The perspective of visions varying of have been, the praise, the memory of seeing the people. We are at war. We are at war. We are not near one, or approaching one, or defending one. We are in the heart, weathering fully weapon war. We are at war. Praise the memory of seeing, of fluttering feathers, the gentle groove of truth-telling tongues, the dream-footed dances of children. Remember the dream-footed dances of children, the patience of people. Forward through rhythm. Praise the tapping heartbeats, to know the sound of the chest. The chest-to-chest love making. The leaders who know how to breathe and gather the pulses of truths for the cartographers of courage. The map makers of memories, the myths of magic. The lush promise of roads less traveled. The smell of earth's breath just after the rain. To revere the listening of nature. Neighbor the stars. Learn the language of constellations. We who belong to the impossible. Whose lies moonlight in the margins of closed shut door meetings. We who mock the circus of politicians. The drunken drones who judge the advent of crimes. And not the mallet of laws. The felony of fictions. The gift of being is how we make and unmake the arms of togethering. The literacy of laughter, a sense of some humor. We are at war. We are at war. We are at war. We are not near one, approaching one, defending one. We are in the heart, the very heart spilling, the people spilling, a heart slayed on the street. How preposterous the concept of poverty in a world of wealth. The weapons of war blushing at a future awaiting us, embarrassed to have ever been anything once lived and discussed. The abolition of police and prisons, of borders and bonds, to the abolition of greed, to the intoxicating aroma of gardens and public parks, the farmers tilling the fertile soil, the faint memory of machines. Here's to the hands, here's to the hands, to the hard-working hands of healers, hung over the minds who lack imagination, an end to indifference. Freedom isn't sorry. Freedom doesn't wear a suit and tie. Freedom has no regrets, turns us all into fools. The buffoonery of self-importance. The ocean giggles at careerism and human rights. You know, the sky grins. The sky grins and the land chuckles and wonders of our tomorrow as we await decisions of our today. Here's to the awe of being courageous, of being patient, of being honest, of being honest. The spirit of discernment is among the people, and we can see that we are at war. We are in the middle of war. We are not near one. We are not approaching one. We are in the very heart of a war. The people spilling, the people spilling, the people spilling, a heart splayed in the street. Two more and then head out your hair. I want to thank you all for listening to these new poems and experimentations as we play around with some sounds and some things and some dreams. I'm gonna read some stuff that's from the book. Where are you at? Where are you at? Okay, y'all. All right, I want you to start with the sound of your homegirl laying her edges down, her baby curls down, with edge control. Okay? Coils waving at the wind. swamp, or a wood wind chime shimmering on a porch in mirth, like she learned to dance catching fish and mocking birds, like her hips run with waves and she drinks rainwater barefooted knees, like she climbs mango trees in the dark hair of evening to witness the stars be great, like she swallows the world whole and sweet as a whispered secret, silent as a stitched star, safe as a griot overcome. In our mother's wombs we ride, waiting on a world to die. Thanks for y'all listening to some poems. Where are we off to? I brought almost every book I had just to. Okay. You spin the earth on our fingertips. We are a language that speaks each other's name. You are all the days around the corner rise to the occasion, where we are mystics, where the swing is a jungle gym of our horizon, where the movement begins in us playing in each other's hair, where we are the promise and the land, the coming of the new days, where we are tickled by our toes touching in the shoulders of air, where we bring the sky to its knees, where we are a duet that brings love and breeze to the trees, jumping on the bunk beds of your boyhood, where we sit at the edge of God's eye, where we are an oath to the honey of our naked truths, where we are each other's welfare, where we learn me as I learn you, until we become us, where we are healing spice kisses in our ancestors' cupboard, stewing on a stove, shooting stars on a tongue, where we are more than damaged goods, where we sleep in the hush of our hips, where we are going, wherever we are going, we cannot go without each other. You are a ray of love, and we can never let each other down. Where we are a lover's love letter, the improvisation of your survival. And I see you in the struggle, and you see me in the dream, and we become one, huddled in a home with our blood blazing and our eyelashes laughing in each other's gaze. What a love we deserve. such a great thing. We need love more than ever before. How many of you consider yourselves love makers? Yeah, shout out to the love makers. To the love makers and the creators and the harvesters of love. Love is the foundation of all things. And we need love now more than ever. There are leaders who I would never want to be caught in bed with, not one of them. They don't seem like they know how to make good love. And so we need to start measuring our leadership based off of people who make good love, not just romantic love, but familial love, agape love, all-encompassing love, abundant love, love that never ends, love that keeps on giving, love that sees only possibility when others see the impossible, love that is abundant, love is only and always ever abundant. So I want to honor the love makers tonight. I feel so special and lucky and honored to be in love, to have a love, to know someone who loves me and I love them back. He ain't here tonight, but he's in my heart. He's a funny guy. And I think about one of the first times I knew I loved him was when I had a bunch of friends over. Ben, you were supposed to be there. I don't think you came. I had a bunch of friends over at the house. And we were doing collage. We were making collages. I like bringing people together to make some art. And it was so cute because he was so nervous. He came up to my terrace and he said, I dropped a blueberry in your hallway and it rolled into the closet and I didn't want to go in there because I wanted to respect your space. And I was like, oh, so cute. And the funny part was, if you know Justin, this is just hilarious. But the funny part wasn't even that. It was like maybe a week later. You know, I'm just getting out the shower. I'm like, I gotta get a towel. I forgot to get a towel. I go in the closet. And I open the door. And out rolls a little crinkled blueberry. And I just laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. Because even when he wasn't around, he was still leaving me love notes. And it was nice. That's how you know you're in love. You know, it'll be the little things. The little things that really make you chuckle. The things that you're grateful for. That you don't take for granted. And I remember us weeks, months later, laying in bed. My head to his chest. And I knew then, I said, man, I wish I would have met him a long time ago. Because all them years wasted living without him. And that's how you know, you know? You try not to take for granted, not any given moment. And I say that whether you have a romantic partner, a friend, a family member, a sister, auntie, or uncle, don't take nobody, not nobody for granted. Don't take none of them for granted. Because there's nothing like wishing you could just have a little bit more time with the ones you love. So we're gonna close out this last one, and I'm gonna play stuff that I already got. That we've already tried and true. It's already been tried and true. We're gonna leave you with two poems that I realized I had more time than I thought. One is called Every Medium Minute and the other is called Castaway. And which one do you want to do first, Brian? You said what? want to do Castaway first? Okay, let's do it. That's what we do.
I did not want to write a poem full of corpses. So I wrote a sacred pink blue sky jeweled on the horizon. Laughter as the loudest star sleeps. Humor hugs every ache whole. How heavy heads lay after a long day in the humid heat. Caribbean moon sighs and joyous dreams. I did not wish to speak of what should not be spoken, so silence breathe into all the words a haunting. I come from a language that does not write itself. Our ancestors speak hurricane, a thunder tongue shivering tides, and a petty revenge. The mid-Atlantic is a vex auntie rattling rivers and roofs, ready for reckoning, knocking at the chest of men. At the other side of now. On the other side of now, there is a door where we return. Every island is a hidden swing between here and there. Afloat in the dance to belong, rocking in the arms of the edge where the sea is an emerald flag and palm trees praise the air. Every shore is an altar of remembrance, embraced on purpose, picnic of the sun ray where prayer trembles the light, or how a storm retreats. We marvel and move eternal. Unforeign and unlost, hips hollering, elbows flapping like fanning flames, bare feet flip, bare feet chant in the sun. In the sand on a concrete jungle, love taps quake the nape of the earth's neck, where daughters of diaspora dream and inherit journeys of flesh. Where a smile is also a scar, or how my grandfather came to see about us years after he died. Wearing my uncle's face, dimpled and shining eyes like two wet black beads, baptized by a spirit, charming man in all he was, checking on his grandbabies. Fear not death. Fear not death. We visit kinfolk there, lingering in the blood, where the ocean hugs tribe of the great abyss. reminisce of not knowing from where or what we come, and still to arrive before they conquered us. We came by shipwreck, by wind and wave pushed into the water, splashing and shaking. The wound teaches us to remember where tomorrow blows. Listen to the animal clawing within. A rooster calls directions between this world and the next. There are roads that cannot be mapped, and there are streets that do not have names. We ran away into the ochre-tinted mountains, seeking maroon hills. I was born borderless. We were all born borderless, mounting a dollar man like an audacious scribbling visions on a train or an airport, traveling ritual, voice, and time. I was born of distance. In between now and then. Okay, I want to leave you with this piece. Do y'all want a piece that is like
Yes.
Black Palestinian solidarity, a little bit more uppity, or something that's still touching on that, but it's
The first three.
every media minute. Okay. Can y'all give me some groove? Like if the African train, underground train tracks, the sound of the train tracks, an African train going to the Middle East. African train tracks. While we make the same mistakes and say
take one to know better. Take one to know better. Take one, and take one to know better. To do better. The do better blues. I mean do better blues. For as long as I've known of our stories, everywhere in the world, Black people have faced exploitation, oppression, colonialism. Furthermore, because we are more than the skins. Sorry, y'all, by the car. Because we are more than the skins we sit in, or the languages swirling our tongues, or the ways we identify. In the words of poet June Jordan, we have other kinds of allegiances, other kinds of dreams that have nothing to do with whether we are white or not white. Allegiances like freedom, love, worship, dreams, visions. For those of us scattered across the identity line, who blur the blemish, the blues of this existence, who evolve in the effort of our living, our oppression has global dimensions, though they build borders, their barriers, bullets, and bombs. We know ultimately that the final frontier is the mind, the spirit, the essential, ever-flowing compassion and healing heaven of our hearts. Our differences are the source of our strengths. It is the fertile ground for our growing gratitude. Freedom is a pursuit, a way through. Fingertips touching the thunder-loving thoughts, bare feet in the rhythm of running swamplands in the antebellum South. It has been said that Harriet Tubman was running toward freedom. Lest we forget, or rather mistake the journey for the being. Harriet Tubman, my friend, was freedom. Freedom is an embodiment, a presence, a soul print, all-encompassing, intoxicating dream, sunlight in the blood, a drum circle in the chest. So what do I say? What do I say to the persecution of our Palestinian comrades as I taste the provoking prison of the American political lack of imagination? What do we say? What do we say to the persecution of our Palestinian comrades as I taste the provoking prison of the American political lack of imagination? We, Black people, African people scattered across the globe, we are a praised people. A people of portals, premonitions, and dimensions. We are here belonging to a connection that goes deeper than lands and oceans. We are the molecules of movement, the kinetic energy, the forces of our conjuring. Our love is liberation. African people scattered across the planet like pollen in the wind. We have always had to be intimately aware that we belong to the in-between. We belong to the in-between. And so I said, African people, we know that there is no land. There is no land we own. And the only land we own is the love shared between us. Our pleas to our people must reach beyond the consensus that war is horrendous, and the devastation of war, and the terrible images we are consuming is still an extension of the complicit isolation of individualism. And the West is not forced to address its complicitness and involvement. It's still consumption. We ingest images much like we would television programming. The bloody bodies of massacred people, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, generations of surnames. And while the images have garnered sympathy, at times outrage, sympathy does not require commitment and transformative action. It does not implement
perception, interpretation of reality. But what is war? What is war through the filter of an algorithm? Solidarity requires an engaged witness, not just passive spectators. We need witness to be with. I will go with you. A slender, flexible branch or twig to extend oneself as if to reach, to live, to be, as to regard. Witness. Witness is not merely to observe and bear witness, but to embody, to do, to be, a shared sharing accompanied by combining forces, to withstand in relationship to solidarity. Solidarity is the migration between fixed identities, the movement, the improvisation of notes, tones, energies into collaboration. Solidarity is our origin story, borderless as breath. As we live, we breathe, and as we breathe, we share air, and as we breathe, you cannot own the air. Solidarity is our origin story. It's where we begin. It's where we begin, and it's where we end. It's our heart expansion. Who loves us, and how do they show it? Love as a political technology. Ultimately, we must ask, who are we afraid to be that may liberate us from how we see ourselves and therein each other? Help me, help me, help me. Help me see what I ought to be and be what I ought to see. Help me. Help me. Help me be. Help me be. Help me be what I ought to be and see what I ought to see. Solidarity is how we connect our struggles and become invested at a time of hyper-capitalist patriarchy. The people are being strangled of livelihoods, and therein the values we hold dear. Values like compassion and kindness and camaraderie. The people have become transactional pawns in a game of take or be taken. And so we must ask, who do we decide to be? What is the love we will show? Solidarity is our origin story. And remember, always remember that there are always things we can do for each other. There are always things we can do for each other that cost us nothing. My name is Aja Monet. Thanks for listening to our experimentation tonight. We're trying some things. You guys are great. But before I go, I want you to please give it up to these musicians who decided to do this with me. Brian Harlow on keys. My dear friend Ben Williams on bass. And Quaker over here on drums. Our first time playing together. Such an honor. Minaret Records is the future. Thank you so much, Yusef.
Let's hear it for Aja Monet. Let's also make some noise for Georgia and Muldrow.
Go buy all of Georgia's merch, okay? I have some teas too, but get Georgia's merch, okay? She shouldn't leave with nothing here, all right? All right.
Facts. Real quick, permit me some thank yous. First of all, thank you to all the wonderful band leaders who graced the stage for the last 2 days. My heart is full. Thank you to the amazing sound team at Lodrum, Raul, and Sloza. Make some more noise, come on, it's a lot of work. There's a stereotype that engineers are mean, but they are completely the opposite and the easiest to work with, and so that's why I love doing shows here. I also want to give a very special thank you to Eric Coleman and B+, who filmed the whole festival, took time out of their very busy schedules. They programmed events long before I did, and I follow in their footsteps. And the last thing I want to say is, the act of music making it's not a thing where there's an audience and there's a performer. It's not a fixed form. It's like everybody participates in this act. It's a feedback loop. And so I just want to thank everyone for their very deep listening And you guys make the music happen, for real. As much as the musicians do, y'all do. So thank you, have a good year, much love. See you next year.